Hi, my name is Al Green. Not that one, but the struggling guy who was in the music industry for years trying to sell talent and songs to agents. The agents befriended me and taught me techniques that I want to pass on to you through my program, which is called You Can Talk, You Can Sell. Anyone who has ever taken this program has excelled in selling and either risen to the top of their company, their team, or the top of their field. It's called You Can Talk, You Can Sell, and you can get it right here. Still struggling, huh? Most of the people who fail in selling actually fail because they're not in 100%. They're not really giving it their all. Because when you give it your all and you're completely committed, that's when you study, you listen, you take guidance, and you try everything you can. Earlier we talked about creativity, using creativity. Well, creativity doesn't mean you fabricate things. It really means that you learn a lot of different techniques and you apply them in your own way. But if you're not 100% in the game, then you're not going to be able to work the extra and feel the sale and project the sale in your mind because you're holding yourself back. So rather than hold yourself back, let's start at the beginning. What you want to do is make sure that you are being 100% who you are. Don't try to be like another salesman. You can't be like me, and I certainly cannot be like a lot of other people. And we said earlier, you don't really have to have charisma, because charisma gets you talking like those people on the news who they can just rattle it off and use voices where they just keep going and going and going. And that isn't how I deal when I'm up in front of people. I am just simply myself, honest, and I am laid back. People trust a person who's laid back because they feel the relaxation of the person's presence. In being yourself, what you want to do is realize it does not matter what your gender is. It does not matter your age. It does not matter your ethnicity. There's other elements that do matter. You want to dress for the job. That's a big deal. Because if you're selling into a professional environment, you want to dress professionally. I often do business with CEOs and people who are big-time business people. They do millions of dollars. I can't arrive there wearing a t-shirt and jeans. I can't arrive there where I've got a full beard. I have to dress accordingly because I have to be as professional as they are. When I'm dealing with attorneys, I have to be professional like the attorneys. Yes, a lot of attorneys can get away with wearing just an open shirt collar, but they usually wear a jacket and they have a certain decorum around them that says they're very serious about doing business. They're in the game. Amazingly, when I was a struggling salesman, most likely, if you are too, you put it out there that you want to learn more, and amazingly, you will find people to help you out. People will come across your path that can help you. In my case, I met a woman by the name of Mary Beth, and she was selling a $100,000 version of a machine that I sold for $5,000. And she was selling to networks of large corporations, and she was selling to the city, the municipal city, to the departments of utilities. And I was struggling just trying to sell these machines to various business owners that needed to use them for purposes related to architecture, like contractors. My machine was $5,000, and for some reason that price threw me and I couldn't really make the sale. Mary Beth took me under her wing and took me around to a few accounts with her, and she pretty much showed me how she does it. Amazingly, she was fantastic. She was one of the top salespeople And I was struggling to sell just one of these machines, just one of them. And it took me an average of 3 months to learn how to sell one a month. She was averaging 3 of her $100,000 machines a month. Do you think maybe I could learn anything from her? Well, I had a willingness to learn, and she taught me fantastically. There is a misnomer of understanding about salespeople. They're not always the people you think they are. A salesperson is not necessarily a male. It's not necessarily somebody that comes across as fast talking like a snake oil salesman. You want to have somebody that can sit and just communicate with you. The people who listen more and make the customer feel like they're being listened to by validating them, those are the ones that make the sales. Interestingly enough, one of the top salesmen in a local industry that I worked with until he retired was such a laid-back person. He was always himself, and he never put on anything pretentious. He never made promises he didn't keep. But the thing about him is, you would have talked to him, you would never know that this guy was a top salesperson because he was so toned down. He was so easy to talk to, but yet not charismatic at all. He was just an average person that you talk to. You just run into this guy on the street, share a cup of coffee with him at Starbucks, and you're talking to just a regular person who doesn't look like a dynamo, like a high-powered executive, and yet that's who he was. He commanded a large 6 figures every year, which went to 7 figures, because he did things in a way that were more dealing with professionals rather than the ways of salespeople. So what we're going to get across in our webinar is how to cover every one of those details, but you have to be committed to it, because when you're committed, you're willing to learn. When you are in the job 100%, you're willing to pick up a book and read. You're willing to take a seminar. You're willing to study whatever it takes. You're willing to build up your contacts. Remember, you are in sales. That means you get to choose your customers. That's what consultants do. Yes, the company might give you leads, but you get to choose which ones you want to work on. You choose if you want to go to company A today or company X. You have a lot of choice, which is the great thing about outside selling, is because you can structure your day any way you want. For me, I liked it because of the fact I wanted to be outside. I wanted to see the sun. I wanted to experience different parts of the city, different people, and different environments. And I studied, just like you're studying right now. But it doesn't mean I didn't struggle. When Mary Beth came along, she basically took me and said, let's get you out of the gutter. Let's get you into the top realm of sales. And I said, I don't know if I can do what you do. And she said, there aren't many people that can do what I do. She was just one of those people that was gifted and knew how to talk to people without any intimidations. She was such a pro. Mary Beth moved to the other side of the country and I lost track of her. But for a while, she made me her buddy and she worked with me side by side. And she was an incredible mentor. One of the key things she taught me was keep learning. You never stop learning. There's always more to learn. The top salespeople keep studying, they keep learning. They learn all the techniques. And when I presented the techniques and you can talk, you can sell to the top salespeople, they loved the idea. They loved it. They said, that's a great idea. They started using the techniques on their own to increase their sales, and yet they were already the people way, 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 way up on top. They were way up there, and yet they wanted to use some of the techniques that came out of my program because they were engaged. They were 100% committed, and that's what you need to be, is 100% committed. Stay in the game because it'll pay off. It may not happen overnight, but if you go out there and start working all of the lessons that we're teaching today, you will be able to start seeing results probably in the first month. We'll come up with more. There will be challenges, and there will be more lessons for you to learn how to increase your sales and get into the realm of being one of the top salespeople. We want you to do that because we want you to come back And when you are successful, when you are learning to be a top-notch person, you will appreciate everything you've learned here and in all the other books and seminars you might take. Don't stop learning, because if you got yourself 100% immersed into your job, you can't help but do good. You can't help but be successful. And you're open-minded enough to learn. So stay open-minded, because that's how you learn. Don't close yourself off to anything. Open-mindedness will keep you working. It'll keep you going to work every day. Remember to work your plan and work your sales presentations into everything that you do. One of the greatest compliments I was given was by a very successful businessman who was talking to another person in my presence, and he said, "Watch out for him," pointing to me. He goes, "He might try to sell you something." I guess I made an impression. I don't know. But you want to understand that a career path of doing sales consulting pays off, and it's very, very satisfying. And then you have a lot of job satisfaction, and bye-bye goes your stress. Enjoy this. This is good information.